Hello, hello. Welcome to Coffee, Sage, and Tarot. My name's Jen. We do tarot over here. This video normally comes out, the weeklies normally come out on Thursdays. Today is Friday. Life has been lifing, so I appreciate your patience while I get Spirit's messages for you for the week of December 22nd through to the 28th. All the signs are time-stamped, so you can just go ahead and check in the description or check the chapters, and I'll meet you at your sign. A little bit of an intro. I am doing something a little bit different. We're just going to see what universal message Spirit has for all of the signs for the week of December 22nd through to the 28th. And then we will move forward into the individual readings and see how this fits in. These are general readings, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Just use your best judgment to discern what messages are right for you. Sometimes Spirit will tell me things that are right on the money for some people, but kind of leave other people wanting more. That's totally okay. If you're really not finding anything valuable for you in your sign, just check your other placements and you will find yourself in there somewhere. I do have one-on-ones I'm starting to book into the new year, so shoot me an email and we can make that happen if that is something that you prefer. Okay, let's go ahead. All of the cards are pre-shuffled, and let's see what universal message Spirit has for all signs, please, for December 22nd to the 28th. One card, please. There we go. Thank you. King of Cups. Okay. That's lovely with the Nine of Pentacles in the shadow here. So King of Cups, he speaks on being very emotionally intelligent, right? Emotionally accountable here. Very nice, very kind, very loving, but also holding space for others while still holding space for himself. So that's really nice. There is a little bit of sacrifice that goes with any king here. And so you might be, in a place where you're putting somebody else's needs, wants, emotions before your own. But we'll go ahead and see how that kind of blends into each of the signs readings. Alrighty. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you at your sign. All right, Aries, let's get right into it and see what the universe has in store for you for the week of December 22nd. Death with the Chariot. Okay, so some changes coming through here, right? And we're being consistent about that. It does feel like you are in charge of this transformation, Aries. You are setting the tone here, definitely setting the pace, that's for sure. Yeah, look at that in your shadow here. Just very quickly, we have the Chariot, the Ten of Cups, and that King of Wands. So you are on your way to becoming the best version of you that you can be. That's lovely. I love that. Let's go ahead and see. Let's get some clarifiers for Aries, please. Let's get some clarifiers for Aries for the week of December 22nd to the 28th. Okay. I figured that Queen again showed up twice, and so does that Queen of Cups. It feels almost like mandatory, whatever this change is that's happening here. It feels almost like necessary. I can no longer exist in the state that I am. It is compulsory for me to change. And Aries, that's kind of what I'm seeing here. That's there's like an urgency to this change and transformation that I'm picking up on here, and you're very much acting on that as you do. You're a doer. For this week, we have the Queen of Wands, Ten of Swords, Emperor, Temperance, the Star in reverse. Not that upset about it, actually. The Moon and the Fool. overall, you look fantastic this week. You look strong. You look in your power. You look with that temperance showing up right in the middle, balanced, right? And with that King of Cups, it does make sense because I feel like you are a little bit more, I don't know if you're going to like this word, but a little bit more passive this week. And maybe that's not the best word, a little bit more understanding of others and a little bit more willing to be more lenient in certain circumstances than perhaps you haven't been previously. Okay, the star in reverse, I just find that it's really kind of speaking to the change that's taking place here, and so we need to change our star, or there's something around this star. It doesn't feel like we're taking away from a star, changing a star, turning away from it. Although it could be that you're turning away from a star, but it feels like you're being intentional is what I'm getting. We're not just choosing anything to be our star. We're being very critical, but still lenient with others, but critical of what we are allowing to come in to our kind of inner circle, Aries, that will prove to be a motivator for us, right? So it's kind of like we're just focusing in on what matters here. The moon, and ending it with the Fool is really lovely. Some sort of very some sort of pattern, maybe habit, line of thinking, something like that we're kind of doing away with, especially with that death energy here, that change and transformation. You are in charge. You are setting the pace. And to end off the week with that Fool, it's almost like we're breaking free, right? Whatever change you're trying to instill here, you do fully implement, and you're feeling good and you're looking good. Let's see what final thoughts we have for Aries here. That was quick. 5 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords. It feels like we are moving away from that 3 of Swords energy here. The Emperor. We're on to new things, right? We're on to new things. We see it for what it is, but we're on to the next, right? 5 of Pentacles here. There's a grind happening, right? With any change, it does get uncomfy. There are peaks and valleys we get in our feels. You're being diplomatic about it. You're holding yourself accountable, holding others accountable, while holding room for you to feel perhaps a little bit of that turmoil, right? But your eyes on the prize. You're focused on the long game here, and you look fantastic. Aries, thank you so much for stopping by. You look great. We'll see you next time. You take care. Leo, hello. Let's go ahead and see what this week has in store for you. Thank you. Hermit. Emperor energy. So you're taking control in some way. It feels a little challenging. It feels like you were challenged and you're not feeling great about it. And so now we're going inward and seeking some sort of, we're going inward, and seeking some sort of understanding of what happened here. Let's go ahead and get some clarification. That Tower card wants to come out. Let's see if it does. Let's get some clarification here. One more, please. 2 more. We're feeling spicy today. All right, Leo, let's see. And there's that King of Cups, right? Now showing up twice for you here. And that Hierophant is now showing up twice in that shadow. This shadow actually looks quite good. This one does too, after you go through it a little bit. We'll go ahead and see here. Two of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Three of Wands in reverse, 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, 10 of Wands in reverse, King of Cups here. I'm wondering if there's a situation that you didn't really feel super great about, but it's actually kind of ending up better for you in the long run, Leo. And it feels like you're kind of on a journey or on a path to realizing that. It feels like you're gaining clarity here, and you're withdrawing in a way that you're allowing yourself to do that this week, right? Three of Wands in reverse. I don't feel like you're open to anything new at this point in time because you're too busy kind of reflecting on what has happened and what's kind of led you here, Leo. But it does feel like whatever it is that you're sorting out, there might be some sort of sting associated with it. But overall, the feeling is good. Like we get to some place where honestly, it feels like life slows down a little bit, or things slow down a little bit, or just enough, Leo, so that you can come to a general understanding of perhaps this was what I needed. Perhaps this was what needed to happen all along in order for me to realize X. Okay. Especially with that Ace of Cups here, there's some sort of moment like, aha, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm seeing here. The only thing tripping me up a little bit here is this 10 of Wands in reverse. And again, it's not feeling negative. It's not feeling bad. It could just be you kind of being stubborn a little bit and like, I know I don't want to let this go. I'm feeling good, but I don't want to let this part of it go. And maybe, you know, that'll be something you'll deal with later. But overall, you look to be sorting it out. And I'm wondering if in the near future, a new opportunity presents itself, a new connection here, perhaps work related, that just kind of seems to pop out of nowhere for you, Leo, because you took that time away to reflect on this. You pulled yourself away from it a little bit, right? And you were able to see kind of that bigger picture that was so hard to see when you were in it. Right? Let's go ahead and get some final thoughts for Leo for this week, please. Thank you. Six of Cups. So I did see that deeper in your shadow here. And Five of Cups here. Yeah. So, you know, King of Cups, no joke here. We are really in our feels. Heading into this week. Six of Cups, you know, that could speak on, with it being kind of the holiday season, so much emphasis is on spending time with our loved ones, friends, family, really filling our cup in that type of way. And you might be requiring that a little bit more, Leo, really to feel nourished on the inside. Just kind of based on what's happening here, it feels like you're taking very kindly to that this week. And yeah, kind of taking that, again, this emphasis on pulling yourself away a little bit to understand what has happened, to come to some sort of acceptance here of something coming to an end, right? So you're figuring it out. You're definitely on your way there. And yeah, I think, you know, outside of this week heading into the new year, I think there's going to be some time for some action, some change happening for you, Leo, and I'm excited to see it. Alrighty, that's what I have for you. We're getting there, and I'll see you next time. You take care. Sagittarius, hello. Let's jump right in and see what message Spirit has for you. Cards are a little jumpy. We'll see if the clarifiers are as well. Hanged Man and Temperance. Okay. Interesting. Look at all that wand energy in your shadow. You're showing up beautifully here, and I love that. I don't want to go too deep in the shadow here, but that Devil energy is showing up. We'll see what happens when we clarify. But Hanged Man energy on the outset here. So some clarity here. It feels like we're stopping. And what I'm getting is let's stop and enjoy the moment. The focus is on let's be present here. And we're really excited about that. So let's go ahead and see what we get here for 8 clarifiers. Let's get some clarifiers for Sagittarius, please. Oh, they are jumping. They are jumping. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So that Nine of Wands is showing up twice here deep in your shadow, and that Hanged Man is making an appearance in your clarifier shadow here. Overall, you look pretty awesome. I'm wondering if your star is changing or at least transforming in a way that maybe you didn't quite realize here, or you're dropping some aspect of it off. I don't feel like you're turning away from your star, although for Sagittarius, for some of you, that could be the case. It feels like it's changing. Yeah. Or perhaps you didn't consider a different option. If that makes sense. An alternative. Coming into your clarifiers here, we have that 5 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, the Sun, Ace of Pentacles, 5 of Cups in reverse, 9 of Pentacles, which is the shadow for that King of Cups. And then we have the Queen of Cups here, Chariot in the shadow, obviously, along with that star, and the Tower that I just spoke on here. Yeah, perhaps things have been a little rocky for you, Sagittarius. And it's like, okay, we're putting an end to this. It's done, right? There's some clarity here. We're starting a new cycle. We're being intentional about something here. We're not lingering in what has happened. We're focused on honestly, it feels like we're focused on the now, we're focused on the present, we're focused on how we're going to show up and enjoy, right? Again, so that idea of how can we be present here and focus on all the good that there is, right? We're not focusing on the past. We're not considering it here. So with your King of Cups and that Queen of Cups, it feels like you're being very intentional about what you're allowing within you. You're being very clear about your boundaries, which Sagittarius, I do feel like you are one of the signs that is very good at expressing their boundary, or at least more so than a lot of the other signs here, and at least adhering to it. for the most part there. So it feels like we are intentionally enjoying the present moment and really not allowing anything into our space that will negatively affect you this week. With that King of Cups, it feels like, yeah, sure, there was an understanding here. There was some sort of conflict that happened, but it happened, past tense. We're moved on now. That no longer applies. We're now here in this moment, not back there. So being very intentional about the present here, right? Especially with that Chariot energy, moving forward or moving from this energy here into a place where you very much want to be here, right? You're showing up, you look great, Sagittarius, truly. There's the sun beaming through here. So again, there's this idea of clarity, of seeing everything for what it is, right? Ace of Pentacles showing up right at the heart of the reading. That's beautiful as well, because we do have the 10, we go to the sun, then we have that ace. So not only is a new cycle happening here for you, Sagittarius, but there could be even a beautiful opportunity for you, perhaps a nice gift either from spirit or from someone here that is presented to you this week, right? And just really embracing that, right? Being in the present and fully receiving that gift. The Tower, 7 of Cups. Yeah, okay, so the Tower is coming up here. And so is that Devil card, right? So, where was it here? There was that Devil, right? So now he's showing up even closer on the outside. Perhaps we are coming into a Tower moment here. All the more reason for you to enjoy what you're planning on enjoying now, right? And that it feels like that time will come, but right now we're focused on enjoying. We're focused on being present. We're focused on trying to slow things down enough that we can really hone in on what it is that you want to hone in on. Okay, Sagittarius, so just be mindful here. Maybe put that in the back of your mind, but staying present. That's the name of the game for you this week. Okay. Thank you so much for stopping by. I wish you all the best, and we'll see you next time. You take care. Alrighty, Capricorn. Hello. Let's go ahead and see what the universe has in store for you. Show me, Capricorn. The Lovers, Ace of Cups. That's lovely. Capricorn, I feel like you have been going through it. So to see this energy is really quite lovely for you. A little bit of self-sabotage there. But overall optimistic here. It does feel like you're in your feels, perhaps connecting with your soul bond connection here, or just really connecting to a higher frequency vibration for yourself, right? This idea of feeling elevated, feeling higher aligned, which is really quite lovely. But again, having that King of Cups and that Ace of Cups, it does feel like you're allowing yourself to feel good, right? And there's a little bit of self-sabotage that's coming in there, but not much. Overall, we're like, hey, right? Let's enjoy this week here. Let's go ahead and get some clarity for Capricorn. Let's get some clarity here. All right. Lots of wand energy. I'm wondering if you're hesitating on doing something new here or changing your outlook on something. But it feels like you're getting closer to doing that. And so there are a lot of aces, sorry. Right? I feel like you're getting closer to taking some next step somewhere, branching out somewhere, or changing your perspective on something here. So we're not quite there yet, but you're getting closer. And it feels like there's so much kind of surrounding you that you're really trying to break away from it and find your center in the midst of all of this going on. Now coming into your clarifiers here, like I said, a lot of one energy. We've got that 5 of Wands, Page of Swords, King of Wands, 10 of Wands, Emperor, Temperance in reverse here, along with that 9 of Cups. Temperance in reverse, honestly, this just reads to me as you being like super stubborn about maybe even closing yourself off from anything else so that you can be a little bit more optimistic this week. So kind of closing the door on allowing anything negative into your kind of soul bond connection here, or, you know, shutting off the noise from life, right? So that you can really be intentional on focusing down on either raising your frequency or really connecting to this soul bond, right? Really feeling in your feels with that love and that life and that joy, right? That connection. Yeah. That's it. I was going to say, okay, so your clarifiers here, but that's really it. It is this idea that, yes, we have outside things and outside obligations here, but I'm putting an end to that for now. I'm letting it go for now, and I'm going to be very intentional about enjoying where I am. Yes, I have things to deal with. Yes, very much. There are things that are underneath these curtains here. There are things I'm hiding. And you're like, okay, I'm hiding them from myself. You called me out. Cool. Like, do you want a cookie? You're like, yeah, I'm surrounded by a lot, but I'm choosing to enjoy this week. And I'm cutting. It's like you're like on do not disturb, Capricorn. You're on do not disturb this week. You're like, do not bother me. I am feeling good. I don't care if I have to force myself into it and block your negative energy or not, right? Like, if you're not in line, then get out of line. I love that. I love that for you. Truly. Yeah. And that Knight of Swords, he's like knocking. He's like, are you gonna? And you're like, no, I'm not this week. Good for you. Let's go ahead and get some final thoughts here for Capricorn. That Temperance card wanted to fly out. I don't know if you saw that. Let's get some final thoughts here for Capricorn. There we go. Ace of Pentacles and the Tower. Yeah, so something's coming. Sagittarius got the Tower as well, only got it as their clarifier, right? So something is coming. I think you know that, right? I don't think you would be, yeah, see, it wants to pop out. I don't think you would be so intentional about this if you didn't know that something was coming, right? And that's fine. This is not the focus this week. It's just kind of like, same as Sagittarius, very similar energy, like in the back of your mind, like, okay, it's coming. But we're being we're being intentional about this. Ace of Pentacles, you know, could be an opportunity here. You are Earth, so it does feel like, kind of in the sense, you're giving yourself this opportunity to really enjoy what you want to enjoy, and feel how you want to feel, right? With that King of Cups component, it's like, yes, we know that this is coming, but we want to be a little bit Greedy is the word that came to mind. And you might think it's that. You might think you're being greedy, but I think you're just being super intentional about wanting to focus and like be hyper optimistic. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's almost like what I'm picturing is like the king of his kingdom, like ordering that everybody has this massive feast before they head off to war, right? Or they embark on battle. And it's almost like this idea of we're going to be intentional about enjoying every single part of this feast before we have to go do some work, right? And it's a serious, heavy thing, but we're not there yet. We're going to do this first. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting for you for this week, Capricorn, okay? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You enjoy your feast. You enjoy that cake and you eat it too, okay? Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. You take care, and we'll see you next time. Taurus, hello. Let's go ahead and see what the universe has in store for you for the week of December 22nd. Okay. Potential new connection here or surrounding a connection. That might be the priority for you this week. I'm just taking a look in your shadow here. I don't know why I said that so weird, but I did. It feels like you're making a decision here and you're trying to be very balanced on it. But it might not be... It might not be the easiest decision you've made to execute on. Okay, let's go ahead and get some clarifiers here for Taurus. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right, so that Five of Cups is showing up now, once in the shadow, now in your clarifiers. Very much, you're giving me Scorpio energy, your sign opposite here. So you're here, but also like both kind of sides of you, okay? Taurus is what I'm seeing here, even just with Death card popping up. So I'm just going to say where you're... It feels like you're fired up in a way that is not the norm for you. Like in a different way from how you normally are. Okay? And wondering if you're like, what does this mean? Like at every juncture, you're like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. What does this mean? Right? And I'm wondering if it's like that because it's so like out of your comfort zone. I don't know. I'm getting that. I'm getting that. Two of Cups clarified by Six of Pentacles, Three of Wands, King of Swords, Five of Pentacles, the Lovers, King of Pentacles, Five of Cups. The wheels are turning. I think you're confused, and I think I'm confused because I'm picking up on your confusion. Okay. So there's something about whatever decision it is that you're making, or like it's a big one. The sacrifice, not easy, very like peaks and valleys. Okay. It feels like with the Lovers, the King of Pentacles, and that Five of Cups, it feels like this is the potential that you see regarding this relationship here. Okay? And I think where I'm getting confused, and I think maybe where you're getting confused, Taurus, is that potential living up to the reality. Okay? Five of Cups showing up now twice. I can guess what the answer is. I don't know if you're going to like it. And I don't know if you're ready for that answer. And as well, what's really kind of coming up for me is we have the Six of Pentacles, right? Then we go to the Five. We don't cycle down, we go to another Five. So a 6, 2 cards, 5, 2 cards, 5. We're not going anywhere. Where is this going? I don't see it going anywhere. Right? There might be a lot of movement, but where are we actually going? Okay? And I'm wondering if that's what this is about. Yeah, and it feels like with this King of Cups energy, you're trying to figure it out. There it is. Yeah. And we end back up at Judgment. And Judgment's getting close. You're closer to figuring it out. Hang on. Where is it here? Yeah. It feels like we're getting closer to figuring it out here. But with King of Cups, we have to be super, like, you have to be responsible, right? Responsible with your emotions, responsible with how you're presenting, responsible with how you're taking in others' information, especially as it relates to this relationship here or with any other person, right? It just feels challenging for you this week. And it feels like perhaps you're leaning into that Scorpio energy to try to get in touch with your intuition, get in touch with a little bit more of that water, right? To feel the nuance within this. But what I'm feeling, I don't know if you can hear the cat, he's speaking on it. What feels most important for me to kind of pull away from this for you, Taurus, is that this feels like potential. And it feels like, are we digging a hole, digging a rut for ourselves because of potential? Will this potential amount to something? And you're committed to this. You're tied to what you see here. It feels like an extension of you. You are an extension of this relationship here. And so to pull apart from this dynamic means essentially to pull apart from yourself, right? And so I think that's why it's so hard, but you're getting there. You're working through it. is the good thing here. I feel like my eyes are going cross-eyed, and I feel like you are too. Right. And just don't drive yourself crazy, Taurus, because I feel like that's very easy to do with what's happening here. Yeah, I just feel like I'm not going to speak too much on it. You're going to figure it out, right? You're going to figure it out. It does feel confusing. It feels a little bit like, what are we doing here? Six of Pentacles, your priorities are changing, or at least that's your intention here. And we're coming to some sort of realization this week, okay? I hope that gives you a little bit more clarity. Let's go ahead and get some final thoughts here. Okay. Two of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and Two of Cups in the shadow here. Yeah, yeah, that's it. You're confused, and it feels like we're just spiraling a little bit here. Two of Cups, connection, the Star, Three of Swords. I'm not going to say anymore. I'm just going to leave it here for you. Okay? That's what I have for you. You're coming to it. You're coming to some sort of realization here. And I wish you all the best. Come out of this situation. Have a little bit of fun this week, Taurus, okay? That's what I have for you. I'm thinking of you. All right? I'll see you next time. Virgo, let's go ahead and see what the universe has in store for you for the week ahead. Oh, there we are. Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords. So perhaps some new perspective is coming your way here. Interesting. Something good for you. Something to reinforce this idea of what you have within you, right? Almost, I don't know if you need a reminder of how strong you are. Perhaps in this moment you do, but it feels something like perhaps somebody is even coming your way as a kind of test. You know how the universe loves to test us, but just to remind you of what you have within you. Okay, let's go ahead and get some clarifiers here for Virgo. Lots of cards are jumping. A couple more for Virgo, please. Oh, all right. Yeah, Knight of Swords in reverse. All right, let's see. How many cards do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. Let's take a look in this shadow here. Double 8s, okay. Triple 8s to the Star. Quickly, I don't know if there's some sort of celebration that we're having. This is the holiday season, so I get that these kind of cards are showing up. It makes sense. This Three of Cups energy is, it feels like exactly what you need to move you forward, right? And it could be that whatever this Three of Cups energy is meeting your expectations or it's not. And as a result of it, you're making a decision to move forward and do what's best for you. Okay. So again, this kind of idea that, whatever is happening is propelling you further into what is meant for you, what is best for you, where you want to be. Okay, Virgo, coming into your clarifiers here, I got them all straight and I just messed them up. Okay, 5 of Cups, the Empress, the Moon, the Hierophant, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords in the reverse, 4 of Wands, the Fool. So immediately this Knight of Swords speaks to me, right? Because it's the only card. Obviously we have it here and now we have it here, this time in the reverse. These cards I do not have in the reverse. So, like I always pull these straight up. So it's presenting in this way gives me an inclination that somebody is coming, right? And in a not so nice way. Okay, their demeanor could be very aggressive towards you, could be looking for an argument, a fight, anything like that. But as a result of this, we understand what's important, we understand our priorities, and we kind of lift off. We use that as a lifting off point to move on. Kind of the build up to that is you feeling unsure isn't the right word. Unstable definitely isn't. Just feeling a little, honestly, in need of whatever push this is that's happening. There's a lot of, it feels like, it just feels like something's missing. And this person comes and clicks that missing piece into place. I'm not saying that it's not that you're not looking good. It's not that you're looking bad. You're just kind of, what's the word? Malaise. There's like a malaise happening. And so it's almost like Spirit is coming in and saying, okay, we need something to click this piece into place so that Virgo can kind of take off and do their thing. And that's what I'm seeing here, right? And whatever this kind of celebration or this kind of 3 of Cups energy is, it feels like perhaps this person is, or that energy is found within this 3 of Cups here, speaking on whatever this is not what you thought it would be, right? It's not giving you that feeling that maybe it once did. Or perhaps somebody outside of this is giving that energy and reminds you of what really matters so that you can go off and do what it is that you're kind of meant to do here, and kind of it's giving you that motivation to kind of move, right? Here there's a little bit of like stagnant energy, whereas this Knight of Swords comes in and we move, right? New perspective, new idea here, and we push off. And so that's what I'm seeing for you this week, Virgo, okay? Let's get some, that was quick. The Lovers, King of Wands. Lovely. Perhaps you're moving towards a new soul bond connection here for some of you. Or perhaps for others, you're reigniting that, right? Could be, somebody who's an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius here. Could be more of that fired energy in terms of you're getting passionate, right? Finding, like I said, something's missing. This could be the missing piece, right? A recommitment to this soul bond connection here, or finding a potential new soul bond connection. And so we're moving there. If none of that really resonates with you, getting you fired up, right? Just again, to raise your frequency, raise your vibration here, to feel that connection within yourself, that connection to spirit, connection to universe, to God, whatever that is, whatever that means for you, Virgo. What's happening this week, especially with this this Knight of Wands here, it's taking you there. It's helping you get there. Okay. So that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. You take care. Libra, hello. Let's dive right in and see. what the 22nd has in store. The Lovers. Love. Strength. Who else had the Lovers? Who else had the Lovers? Somebody else had the Lovers. Oh no. Oh no. I'm not remembering. Anyway, I think it was an earth sign. Taurus? Taurus had 2 of Cups. Another sign had the Lovers here, so I love to see that for you, Libra. Strength here, 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, 3 of Wands. Interesting. Okay, so a little bit of like herky-jerky in the shadow here, but strength. I'm wondering if that relationship is being tested here. Let's go ahead and clarify. Ultimately, with that King of Cups, we do have a high account or a high level understanding here. It's almost like we're using our, we're really putting our emotional intelligence to the test here, holding ourselves and others accountable here. And trying to do the best thing for everyone. Let's go ahead and see some clarifiers here for Libra. Well, there you are. Hello. And there's that strength, Leo energy. Okay. Let me just take a peek here. Yeah, the Tower. A meeting of the minds. Okay, it feels like you're analyzing something here. You're analyzing this connection here. So just quickly in the shadow before I jump to your clarifiers here, we go to the 8, to the 3, Queen, then we go to the 2, then we have the Tower, and then we go down to the 1, right? Getting very hyper-focused on what this relationship is, what this dynamic is here, and how it fits or it doesn't fit, right? And then ultimately having this conversation, right? That meeting of the minds here for you. Oh, 3 of Swords. At the top of that deck there. Okay. Justice, Ace of Pentacles, Hierophant, Strength, King of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, the Moon in reverse. It feels like this relationship is being put to the test because something has happened in your physical environment, or something will happen. An opportunity might be presented to you, Libra, for you alone. Okay. Could be something like your job is trying to relocate you. There's an opportunity to go on, if you're in school, some sort of exchange. But it feels like there's a good chance of personal success. In a way that doesn't include your lover's counterpart here. With the Hierophant showing up, it definitely does feel like community facing, society facing, right? It's like it's a good opportunity for advancement here. Especially with that 8 of, but I forgot that that was at the behind the Strength card there. 8 of Pentacles Yeah. Yeah. Trying to hold on to what you have. Yeah. Yep. So something happening here, some sort of opportunity being given to you, Leo, and it feels like it's going to be testing this Lovers in some way, shape, or form here. And so you got to think about it, right? You got to figure it out. And it could be, you know, some sort of temporary sacrifice here is in the cards, literally, for you, for the immediate future here, or for coming in like within the next, you know, month and a half, couple months here. Five of Cups, some sort of acceptance here, but there's clarity on it, right? It's not, there's almost like this practical analysis of this. We're seeing it for what it is, right? Especially with that King of Cups energy, where we're holding ourselves accountable. We're not under any illusions here. We're trying to be very honest about what's happening. There's no stone left unturned, is the vibe that I'm kind of getting here. And it feels like a good opportunity. And I feel like you know that, but it's hard to rectify as it relates to this Lovers. It feels like it's coming at a cost, whatever this opportunity is, and the cost is temporary sacrifice within the relationship. Okay. If it's not a relationship that we're thinking on here, or you're not currently in a relationship, perhaps it could be just throwing a major curveball into your idea of who you are, right? And challenging that kind of identity here, and causing you to question that as it relates to whatever this opportunity is here. And it feels like, with, like I said, with that Hierophant here, it feels like a tradition, like I'm wondering if you're getting, I just got this, like, am I selling out? Is this idea, like, just with the Hierophant being there, am I selling out? I don't want to sell out. So take that as it resonates. For some of you, perhaps some of you do think that whatever this opportunity here is you selling out. And so, you know, it's coming at this idea of, that's not me, I'm not like that, whatever. But you're deeply questioning it, right? And with that strength, we have to stand in our truth, and acknowledge, you know, might be a great opportunity for some great success for you, Libra. And do you want to pass on that, right? Knight of Cups, Ace of Swords, Hanged Man, Ace of Cups, Hierophant, Justice. Yeah, it's kind of major what's happening here. You know, and it feels, again, a little bit tied to your identity, who you think you are, who you want to be, you know, and so it does make sense that we're kind of having to have this conversation here. You know, Knight of Cups coming through here, some sort of self-reflection, right? This idea of higher level thinking, this macro level. What do we want for our life? Where do we see ourselves going? Does it include this or that, or this person, or this opportunity, right? Playing chess, getting strategic, right? Kings do that. We have to sacrifice certain pawns for the betterment of our queen, for the betterment of our king, right? And so it feels like that's what you're doing here, right? Tough conversation to be had for sure. But Justice, you're very keen on sorting this out, and I have no doubt that you will. Did I say Libra or did I say Justice? One and the same. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. I wish you all the best, and I hope you find your checkmate. We'll see you next time. You take care. Aquarius, hello. Let's go ahead and see what the week of the 22nd has in store for you. Three of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. Closing the loop on something, not sure how to move forward. Huh. Closing the loop on something and remaining open, hopeful, optimistic for something else. Perhaps some sort of anxiety associated with that. But you're ready. You're ready for that. Let's go ahead and get some clarifiers for you, Aquarius. Show me Aquarius, please. Okay. Okay. That Nine of Pentacles wanted to come out. We'll see if it does. Nope. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. There you are. Something is changing for you. You're closing a loop on something, so it only makes sense that, you know, you would feel some type of way about it, but that you would show me Death card, change and transformation. Transforming who you are, who you want to be, for the greater good here. Being practical about it, especially with that double Knight of Pentacles showing up here, right? We're convinced this is what it's got to be. In Aquarius, you only do things when you are 100% convinced, so that makes sense here. We're ready. We're ready. Nine of Cups, Three of Swords, King of Wands, King of Swords, the Sun, Emperor in reverse, Eight of Swords. This bit is interesting. Are you relinquishing control of something? Is that what's changing? That kind of feels like what's changing here. It feels like you're relinquishing control in some sort of aspect here, but it's because you recognize that, I mean, it's for the greater good. But it's funny that you're showing me the kings, right? And then the Emperor in reverse here. So like you're still in control, almost Aquarius, I'm wondering, are you still in control of yourself while ceding this sort of societal control here, or control at your job, in this role, in this dynamic here? Yeah, it feels tough what you're doing, but understandably necessary here. The Eight of Swords, it's like we're acknowledging that this is difficult. It feels like we're acknowledging that whatever this kind of idea of control or power or whatever. It could be power, right? Could be your way of expressing your position needs to change, or you realize needs to change, because you were expressing your power in a way that needs to change. Something like something like that, to where we were leading from a place that no longer serves. We were leading perhaps from fear, right? And so we've realized that we need to close the loop on how we lead in that way. Not that we're not leading, not that we're not leaders, but the time has come to change that, to close that loop on perhaps leading with too much of an iron fist, Aquarius. And that, was brought to your attention. Perhaps you're too too firm. And with that King of Cups showing up, right, for the universal message here, it's this understanding that we need to be a little bit softer, a little bit more understanding, right? A little bit more caring, right? We can't just expect people, not that I think that you do this, but in a very exaggerated version, we can't just expect people to bend themselves to fit what we want them to fit, right? Just because we think that something should be done some way, we have to make room and allowances for other people to think differently than us and give their opinions and their position weight, even if we disagree, right? So kind of leadership in that way, where it's a little bit more collaborative, right? Is perhaps what's happening for you this week here, because we have to take in, with that King of Cups there, we have to take in others' emotions, others' points of view into account, right? And so we just have to maneuver a little bit in a different way here. And you're convinced that it's got to happen. We don't like it. We don't like all aspects of it, right? But it's kind of got to happen here. Page of Pentacles, Emperor, Four of Cups, Justice. Yeah. Decision here. For some of you, a legal thing, something you need to sacrifice something for the greater good, or change something for the greater good as it relates to a legal matter here, playing the long game. Page of Pentacles, Emperor, Four of Cups. Yeah, we're not super excited about it, but we know we need to change a couple aspects of how we rule. And it feels like that's what you're doing, right? Just being intentional. And change is coming as a result of that, right? Yeah. Try to enjoy it. That's what I would say. Try to enjoy it. It doesn't have to. I feel my energy just getting more and more serious here. It's like, yeah, okay, well, but try to have some fun in the process this week, okay? Aquarius, that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for stopping by. You take care. Gemini, let's go right into it and see what the week of December 22nd has in store. The Sun, Eight of Pentacles, Page of Wands. The Tower has been showing up for everyone. It's coming. It's a-coming. I see a new opportunity coming for you. And you are working hard, so that's a win. The sun here, some major clarity coming through. You're focused, or at least that's your intention, right? Really focused on being in the moment here, finding enjoyment where you are. It does feel like finding enjoyment where you are as opposed to where you plan on being. So that's really lovely. Let's go ahead and get some more clarifiers here for Gemini. Come on. Thank you. That's nice. Yeah, definitely is a new opportunity coming for you in the coming weeks. So I would definitely keep an eye out for that. Huh. You're focused. You're focused and you're trying to stay that way. High Priestess, 10 of Wands, Ace of Swords in the reverse, 3 of Cups, 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords, and the 8 of Pentacles here. You're listening to yourself. It's almost like you're listening to yourself, but there's an answer in there that you aren't a huge fan of. And part of laying down these wands here feels like you're laying down part of yourself. So yes, we're very much focused here. I'm wondering if there's some sort of clarity on, we've gotten ourselves too wrapped up in other people's issues that now it feels like when we're laying those burdens down or putting that to rest, it feels like part of us, we're laying part of us down because we don't know where those wands end and we begin. And so that's kind of a little bit of resistance that I'm feeling there. But either way, with that 3 of Cups here, it is the holidays here, so it does make sense that that card is showing up. It does feel like we're a little bit distracted from the celebration, from the holidays, from being present there. Your mind is elsewhere, and wherever your attention is, you're focused on that. It's your priority here. And you're trying to be super intentional about where it is that you're headed and trying to, it feels like whatever this work is that you're putting into whatever aspect or dynamic is showing up on the board here for you, you're making way for some opportunity to present itself, right? It feels like you're perhaps even energetically, Gemini, clearing room for different opportunities to come your way. Okay, so it might feel a little bit uncomfy. It feels like there's some clarity, especially with that sun here and that King of Cups as the universal message. You're aware that this is uncomfy. You're aware that perhaps you might not be feeling your best, but you're trying to get there. There's a goal. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're working our way towards there. 3 of Cups, try to enjoy, right? The holidays. Try to enjoy your celebrations here. The sun coming up again. Wow. And that Wheel of Fortune. Yep. 6 of Cups, Queen of Cups. So even just with these cards here, try to enjoy the filling, the act of filling your cup. Try to enjoy being present with these people, right? With your close friends, your family, your loved ones, right? It's a beautiful thing when we allow certain experiences to fill our cup, right? It's a beautiful thing, right? It's a joyous thing. With the Sun and the Wheel of Fortune here, it does feel like, yeah, just double clarity. You're seeing the light literally here. I love this image of this woman beating the drum. There's a vibrational shift that I feel is happening with you, Gemini, elevating yourself, raising your frequency. I feel like perhaps is the priority here. And it might not be the way that you perceive that, but you're trying to become a better version of yourself. So that's what's taking the focus here. Wheel of Fortune, perhaps Spirit might be working with you, right? To maneuver some of these things, take some of these wands away that initially feel hard to let go, but nice once they're gone, right? Again, clearing that space energetically for different opportunities to come up and take their place for you, Gemini. So beautiful, beautiful here. You're hard at work, and I won't distract you. Thank you so much for stopping by. You take care. Okay, Cancer, let's go ahead and see what this week has in store for you. Six of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. Okay. Are we trying to make way for a new perspective here? Ooh, that intuition. Coming in hot here. There's a sense of urgency with that High Priestess showing up here. A lot of air showing up in that shadow here. Huh. Interesting. Trying to rebalance priorities here. Maybe trying to integrate something new. Look at that. I shuffle all these cards in between each readings. So, yeah, Ace of Swords. Some new perspective is really trying to come your way here. Let's get some clarity for Cancer. Thank you. All right. Cancer, I think you're the first reading that has had all of their cards in the clarifiers right side up. I have this like vision showing up for you, Cancer, of like popping a pimple. A lot of pressure for something to come out, ultimately to be rid of that thing that's been festering underneath. Okay. And that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling for you this week. Your Six of Pentacles is clarified by the King of Cups. So right now we have that double king. This king, of course, being that universal message. Queen of Pentacles, Judgment. Four of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Hermit, and Justice here. And then High Priestess in the shadow, Six of Cups, and then Queen of Wands. And then we go into kind of your energy plus a little bit of tension and more of that sword energy here. I feel like you're trying to make a practical attempt here, an honest earnest attempt at something. But Four of Pentacles, we want to keep what we want to keep. We don't want to let go of it. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here with that. Well, we want to keep, we're trying to, it's almost like there's an aspect here of trying to change something. But the very thing that you're trying to change, you're also not wanting to change or not willing to change it, but we're still working to change the thing. If that makes sense. But it's like we're giving an earnest attempt, but only up until a certain point. Giving only up until, no, that's a hard line. We're not going to do that, but we're still going to try in earnest because we said we would. So I'm wondering if this new perspective here, it's almost, yeah, it feels urgent, that listening to the High Priestess energy, that leaning into your intuition here. Which is interesting because of the amount of pentacles that you have. So I'm wondering if you're trying to be practical here, Cancer, and your intuition is screaming at you. So pay attention. Yeah. Yeah. Are we too focused on material things this week? And how can we make sure that we're integrating what we need to integrate? It seems like you start off from a good place, and yeah, I don't know. Over, like the cards, I'm looking at them, it feels good, right? It just feels like this, especially being at the heart of your reading, that Four of Pentacles, that Capricorn energy here. It's like, okay, well, we're being very stubborn about it. And that feels like heading into this energy of conflict and, you know, a little bit of turmoil, right? A little bit of stubbornness with that Devil energy popping up way back in that shadow there. Yeah, it feels like we start off in a good place here. We're rebalancing. We're taking a look. We're being grounded. We're understanding that there's something that we need to do for our highest and greatest good here. And we're busy working on it. But it feels like whatever this Four of Pentacles is, it feels like a handicap a little bit, Cancer. And it feels like perhaps this might be the very thing that needs to be examined in order for any progress to be made in the situation or in the dynamic that you're showing me this week, okay? And it feels like with that High Priestess card, Six of Pentacles again, Nine of Pentacles here, you know, let's listen to our intuition. Let's figure it out. Double Six of Pentacles here, Nine of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, Ace of Swords. So now we have that Ace of Swords showing up. Where was it? Oh, at the very back here. Ace of Cups. Am I losing my mind? I thought it was showing up again. Okay, well, anyway, we have the Ace of Swords here in that shadow, right? Let's listen to this perspective. Let's see where the intuition wants to chime in here. And again, we have that Ace of Swords showing up in your clarifier, or in your kind of last final thoughts here. Shadow, right? We have the Nine of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, Ace of Swords. So some sort of perspective is trying to make its way to you. Some new way of thinking, new perspective, new idea is trying to make its way to you here. It feels like you're not acknowledging it, right? That Ace of Swords, we're not seeing it because we're so focused on, we don't want to lose this. We don't want to lose X. But also it's this idea that, well, we don't want to lose it, but also we're trying to make way for something new. And it feels like the two energies are canceling each other out. So if we really want to give this a true go, let's really give this a true go and listen to what our intuition is trying to tell us. Listen to what new thought is trying to make its way to us. Kind of open ourselves a little bit more energetically to see where we can integrate change and integrate this shift that you're really trying hard to make, right? Yeah, just interesting. It feels like you're starting in earnest. It feels like whatever you're doing, you're really giving it your best foot forward, putting your best foot forward here. But it feels like it's getting kind of wonky with whatever that Four of Pentacles energy is. What is your firm line, and why is it a firm line? Is that something that you can bend on? Is feeling like the question that is posed to you, Cancer. Okay. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. You take care. Alrighty, Scorpio, how are you? Let's get right to it and see what the universe has in store for you for the week of the 22nd. The Magician. So manifestation here coming through. Love that for you. Four of Swords. Just taking a peek in the shadow. Okay, so a little bit making your peace with something, and then the universe comes in and just adds a little bit of chaos into your life here. All right, Scorpio, let's get some clarifiers here. Oh, double Magician. Really focusing on manifesting this week. King of Wands in reverse. Huh. Okay. Okay. Wow. Interesting, interesting. Wow, look at that. Very similar situations here. Yeah, okay. Either way, something's coming to an end here. And it feels like you've made your peace with it. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Your clarifier shadow looks beautiful, Scorpio. I just have to say, once you kind of get through this week, it feels like, and whatever you resign yourself to do in your mind, it's like cemented there. You've made your decision and you're committed to it. And I love that for you. Perhaps there's a break away from, like a mental break, meditation. I'm feeling something along those lines, to where you pull away only to come back harder, stronger, more committed to whatever it is that you've laid out and you've decided in your mind to do. Okay. Magician is clarified by the Magician, Two of Cups, King of Wands in the reverse, Eight of Wands, Queen of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles here. It's interesting because you're not here. You are changing. You are manifesting. You are busy doing what you need to do to propel yourself forward. That much is clear. King of Wands in the reverse. It feels like you're... You're seeing a Two of Cups partnership, relationship here. For what it is. Some truth here. Somebody stepped out of character. Somebody did something, and we're moving into some sort of hard truth about that. Feels like somebody got a little worked up. Could be you, could be the other person. Okay, take it as it resonates here, but somebody wasn't acting in their best. Somebody wasn't putting their best foot forward here, and perhaps got their let the situation get away from them a little bit, okay? But as quickly as that happens, it moves into an awareness, or for you at least an understanding of where do we go from here, and very much intentional about situating your priorities accordingly. Either this relationship is a part of that, it's not a part of that. What are we doing? We're putting, once we commit to something, Scorpio, our mind is made up, and now we're trying to make it happen in real time. So that's what I'm seeing here for you. King of Cups showing up again as that universal message here. You are trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be. This relationship might or might not be associated with that. It is only for you to decide. Why am I feeling like this is you? Letting, you know, your passion get the best of you here. And then you kind of have a moment of, oh, that's not what I wanted. Accountability, quick into moving forward with sound reason and understanding here. You're manifesting something. You're manifesting something. You are trying to make change, and perhaps that all of that energy and all of what you're trying to do and create, you got a little excited about it. And so now we need to figure out how to move forward in relation to this Two of Cups energy. Okay. But either way, you're showing up with some beautiful energy here. If this isn't you, if it is the other person, whoever it is, okay, I am seeing taking accountability and removing as quickly as it comes, it goes. And that's really lovely. You're not, the king being here, right, as the universal message is telling me that you are here, but you're using all of your elements to manifest some change in real time. And that's beautiful to see. Let's get some final thoughts here for Scorpio. Devil, Six of Cups, Seven of Pentacles here. There's a connection here, and I'm wondering if it is this Two of Cups connection. There's a connection here. Are we trying to manifest out of this relationship? I'm wondering if you're trying to manifest out of this relationship here and move on, putting this behind you. There's just a layer of toxicity that I'm seeing, and perhaps you see it too. And we're recognizing that we need to take some space, take some steps, move on, figure out how to maneuver around this dynamic here. Okay, Scorpio, that's what I have for you heading into this week. Interesting. If it's not you in a relationship here, it's you in an aspect of yourself that you recognize and you see clear as day. Some sort of aspect that was fulfilling to you. Perhaps an addiction, an indulgence has taken a turn and it is no longer giving you what it did. Okay. And so you're doing what you need to do, right? You're holding yourself accountable. You're saying, does this fit? Is this what I need? How do I move forward? That's what you're doing. You're figuring it out. And once you figure it out, you're committed. Scorpio, that's what I have for you. Okay. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. You take care. Pisces, hello. Let's get right to it and see what the week of December 22nd has in store for you. The Hermit, Two of Pentacles, some reflection here. Okay, love that, love that, love that. Tower, yeah, that tower is coming through for everyone. Okay, not super surprised here with us heading into a new year as well. It's coming, right? But look at your shadow here. That really looks quite lovely. We're trying to make some way for some priorities here and refocus, which is really nice. I really like to see that for you. Engaging in a little bit of joy and connection as well, which is really lovely to see. Introspection is the word that comes to mind for you, Pisces, okay? Okay. Yeah, and again, that Tower. So something's coming to an end here. And there's some change coming through. It's hard. Tough. And I feel like you're not ready to take that on yet, Pisces. But this introspection, whatever's happening this week here, you're kind of building yourself up to that there. There's some clarity, but I feel like we're not ready to do anything about it yet. I'm just pulling up the Rider-Waite because I want to see what 2 10s represents according to the man himself. Change. Yes, change. Very much so. I do feel. So we've got your Hermit clarified by 10 of Cups, the Lovers, 10 of Wands, High Priestess, Page of Wands in the reverse, 2 of Swords, King of Pentacles. You and that King of Pentacles, Pisces. Success is always on the brain. You're always thinking long term, it feels. And it's just, I feel like, we get lost in the sauce sometimes. But here this week, we're trying to trudge our way through, or at least to figure out, I'm just picturing like mud. I'm covered in mud. I'm trying to trudge through the mud here. And that's what it feels like. And you're getting there. Something's coming to an end, right? Change in a major way. That Lovers is blanketed between a beautiful 10 of Cups and the 10 of Wands here. Perhaps a lover soul bond connection here became too much. It morphed into something that it shouldn't have become, or maybe it did. Either way, it changed. Okay, and there's this idea of moving on, but not really feeling good about it, is what I'm seeing here. So just some introspection here based on what we lost, or based on what was once perhaps a beautiful thing and is not any longer that same thing. If it is not a soul bond connection that has ended for you, Pisces, perhaps you're looking at yourself and you're not the same. Perhaps, and I feel like this rings true for a lot of the Pisces that I read for, you lost a little bit of your shine. I feel this year has been a lot for you, and you're not the same. And it feels like that's a hard realization to conclude 2025. Because it feels like your change has not been, it's been a bit of a rough go, Pisces. And, so we're gaining some introspection on how to close out this year and open 2026 in a good headspace. Coming past this High Priestess here with the Page of Wands in reverse, 2 of Swords, King of Pentacles here. It feels like part of you doesn't want to move on, right? And there's clarity there. It's almost like we have to acknowledge that. We want to go back to, or maybe reminisce, or, feel good in that blanket of happiness that we once had, but that is no longer the present here. What happened here is not where you are currently. And so it feels like whatever introspection, whatever hermit energy you're taking on this week, Pisces, you're coming to terms with that. And you're really trying to balance the past or rectify the past with your present, because your present is not this. Your present is not, the lovers and feeling that vibe. You don't feel that. It feels very, like this. It feels like one day is good, one day is bad. One day is good, one day is bad. Another day is bad, one day is good. And you're working towards, you're trudging through the mud a little bit. So how do we get back on track here? I feel like you're starting to kind of come through. and gain some clarity on that. But it's hard. And either way, you're coming to the, it feels like you're coming to the acceptance stage here. And trying to figure out how to get back on track. Let's get some final thoughts here. The best of you needs to have a conversation with your experience here. Needs to have an honest conversation, right? High Priestess, Page of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Five of Pentacles, the Emperor here, Three of Wands, Knight of Swords, the Star, the Tower. Yeah. What was good feeling before is not good feeling any longer. And it's almost like we need to come to terms with that. We need to accept what our intuition is trying to tell us. We need to accept what our body, right? What our cup, what our frequency is trying to tell us here, and have that moment where we ground, have that moment where we come into a practical reality here so that we can start moving forward. We cannot live in the past forever. And it feels like perhaps you were trying to do that and you're slowly coming out of that, right? Pisces, introspection. This idea of, I know change is coming. I don't have to like it, but I know it. I don't have to be ready for it, but I know it, right? And so slowly kind of you're dusting yourself off, clearing out the mud, getting yourself back on your feet here is what I'm seeing. Okay, Pisces, I'm thinking of you. All right. And I wish you all the best this week and always. And just know that you're not alone. Okay. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. You take care.